Up until 2 seasons ago, the 96 Bulls held the greatest regular season record of all time at 72-10. Up until just last season, the 0-1 Lakers stood alone with the best playoff record of all time at 15-1. So it hasn't been that long since these two were factually the greatest regular season and playoff teams of all time. But have you ever wondered what would happen if these two titans ended up on the same court? That's what we're going to find out today. But before we get into this epic matchup, I wanted to show you guys this game I've been playing called NBA General Manager. It's for both iOS and Android, and it's exactly what it sounds like. You get to pick a team and start building it how you see fit, then you can take the team online to play against other players who've done the same thing. Building your team is a lot of fun because you can sign different players, take them to this practice area where you can improve them, and you can enter live auction bids to bid on new players to help your team. You can also use coins in the game to buy new skills to increase your team's score and improve how they play. If you want to join my club, I have my fan code on the screen and in the description below. Also, if you're wanting to download the game for yourself, I'll have the links in the description and in the comment section. You can get it on either iOS or Android, and I hope to see you there. So even with the Warriors' amazing run in 2016, their massive failure at the end caused many people to boot them from ever having an argument to be better than the 96 Bulls, meaning although they one-upped them on the record, Chicago is still considered the greatest team of all time by most. Led by Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen, this team steamrolled the regular season, ranked first in both offensive and defensive rating, and then went on to win the championship to cap it all off. Even with their dominance, there was still the fact that this team struggled to guard elite big men, which is why there's long been a question of if they would have been able to beat Hakeem's Rockets that popped up in their place when Jordan retired. In the 96 season, Shaq, Hakeem, and David Robinson played a combined 8 games against the Bulls, and together they averaged 27 points and 11 rebounds on 58% shooting. In fact, just the season before this one, Shaq's Magic team was the one that put Chicago out of the playoffs, and in that series, O'Neal dominated them with 24 points, 13 rebounds, and 2 blocks a game on 48% shooting. So this raises the question, what if the Bulls had to face a team that not only had a dominant big man, but a dominant team around them as well? This is the question the 0-1 Lakers are perfectly fit to answer. This was Shaq 6 years after he faced the Bulls in '95, and it was probably the best version of him we ever saw. Phil Jackson got the absolute best out of him on both sides of the ball, and he was able to win an MVP award that should have easily been unanimous. 29 points, 13 rebounds, and 3 blocks a game while shooting nearly 60% still stands as one of the most dominant seasons ever, and when you factor in Shaq's size, there might not be one player in history that could have stopped him that year. With that being said, that's a huge advantage in this matchup considering the Bulls' big men really weren't all that great, and their toughest one was a 6'7" Dennis Rodman. On top of having Shaq to deal with, there was Kobe, who was really starting to hit his stride in 0-1, so much so that Shaq called him the best player in the league that season. The rest of the roster was built out with good role players that could shoot the ball and defend, and this is what ultimately led to their dominant playoff run. But the rest of the Bulls are no slouch either. Yeah, their big man situation isn't ideal to handle this team, but their perimeter duo of Jordan and Pippen could dominate anybody on both offense and defense. Rodman is the perfect piece to do all the dirty work, and their bench is filled with knockdown shooters, so who gets the upper hand here? At the point guard, sharpshooter Derek Fisher is matching up with Ron Harper. In an epic clash of alpha dogs, Kobe and Jordan get to go at each other as these two never really got to match up at a proper age in real life. Fox has to contain versatile wingman Scottie Pippen, Grant is matched up with Rodman, and somehow Longley has to find out how to stop Shaq from having his way in the paint and tipping the scales of the game. And so, the match is set. Two teams with two of the most impressive all-time records in history take to the court to add yet another gem to their resume. Who's victorious? Let's find out. The game takes place at Staples Center, which is a bit of an advantage for LA. During the 96 Bulls season, 8 of their 10 losses came on the road, so the Lakers look to capitalize on that. The tip-off goes to LA, and they waste no time throwing it down low to their obvious advantage in Shaquille O'Neal. He sweeps across the lane with the running hook and scores the first 2 points of the game just about 15 seconds after it starts. Michael Jordan opens the Bulls' first possession by firing right back, going straight at Kobe for his first points that would eventually turn into a first-half explosion. Next, Luke Longley gets on the board with an impressive putback dunk over 2 Laker big men. Although he's being tasked with the impossible job of defending 0-1 Shaq, he'll go on to do his job having an impressive rebounding night to help the Bulls' chances. Only about 4 minutes into the game, the Bulls decide they can't let Shaq beat them, and they start sending help as he's causing serious problems in one-on-one situations. Obviously this isn't ideal with Kobe and other shooters lurking around the perimeter, but that's what made the Lakers so dangerous in the first place. Shaq gets the ball and makes a smart pass out of the post to Kobe, who calmly sinks the open jumper for his first points, but this would go on to be a rare scenario in the first half. Jordan sees a challenge and starts to go at Kobe with everything in his arsenal. In the ultimate battle of alpha dogs, MJ proves he truly doesn't back down from anyone. First, it's a quick post-up move that leaves Kobe grabbing for air. Not too long after, Kobe tries responding with a 3 that starts a trend for the night for misses that normally fall kinda easy for him. On the other side, the Bulls get in transition, and Kobe loses MJ for just a split second, giving him all the space he needs to score his 7th point of the first quarter. The story doesn't change much from here as he continues to dominate Kobe in single coverage. Not only are Kobe's shots now falling early, but the offensive game plan is to go to Shaq since he's the biggest advantage, and while it keeps him in the game, it makes it hard for Kobe to find a rhythm. About halfway through the first quarter, MJ has officially caught fire as he drives left past Kobe, pulls up, and knocks down a contested fallaway jumper that could have very easily been an and one. The LA crowd is stunned as MJ has 11 of the Bulls' 17 points, and in a very rare event, Kobe seems helpless to stop the opposing player. There's not too many people that could pull that off. The rest of the first quarter features exciting back and forth play between both teams. The Lakers continue to feed Shaq in the post, who absolutely has no answer, and the Bulls continue to switch between Jordan and Pippen, who are both carrying the load for Chicago. As the quarter ends, the Bulls take a narrow 3-point lead at 31-28. Shaq finishes with 10 of LA's points, while Jordan has been scorching with an astounding 19 first quarter points, and at the rate he's going, he could easily be on pace for a 60-point night. The first half of the second quarter becomes a battle of the benches. With the stars taking a breather, it's all about who can execute without a go-to guy on the floor, and in that respect, Chicago still has the clear advantage. The Bulls get 12 points from their bench compared to the Lakers, who start the quarter on a drought and only get 6 points from their reserves. The Bulls continue to knock down open shots as they jump out to a 7-point lead, which is the biggest of the night so far. Horace Grant is able to put an amazing post move on Pippen to kickstart the offense, but a mental lapse on the other end proves costly. Ron Harper shoots a free throw that hangs on the rim just a bit longer than expected, which gives Rodman a chance to out-hustle Grant for it. He recovers it and slams it through as the Bulls now lead by 9 points and the Lakers are struggling to hang on. The bench battles end and it becomes a duel between Shaq and Jordan instead of being between Kobe and Jordan as was expected, but there is a clear winner this time. Shaq continues to find easy position against Rodman and Longley, who can't deal with his size, and he's able to add 10 more points to his total while keeping the Lakers in the game. Meanwhile, Jordan finds a couple of spots to get to, but nothing like the first quarter. It appears heading to the bench caused him to cool off just a little bit, and he's only able to post 4 points in the second quarter, which gives LA room to squeeze back into the game. Chicago attempts to continue to keep a few people in Shaq's area, and that leaves Rick Fox wide open, and unlike Kobe, he's off to a good start at shooting. He knocks down back-to-back threes off of wide open passes from Shaq to bring that lead back down to 3, as any signs of a potential blowout disappear. Shaq finds position in the paint once more, and the Bulls again head to the half with only a 3-point lead. The second quarter evened the game out a bit as LA was able to recover from Jordan's showmanship in the first. They have a higher field goal percentage, they're outscoring the Bulls in the paint, and are getting more defensive rebounds and blocks. Still, the Bulls have 10 offensive rebounds thanks to strong nights from Rodman and Longley, and in turn are winning the battle in second chance points. The second half opens up and every indication points to the game ending in a nail-biter. Jordan immediately opens the quarter by finding Pippen wide open for 3, and if both he and Jordan get hot, there's going to be little chance for the Lakers without Kobe producing. Longley sees an opportunity to score for a split second, but Shaq closes that gap, adding to his block total for the night. He runs the floor after the block and gets positioned down low while Rodman does everything he can to no avail. With the strategy having worked all game, the Lakers see no reason to do anything other than run the offense through Shaq. Except this time when Chicago brings help, Kobe's sitting at the top of the key with way too much space. He's been off for most of the night, but calmly knocks down this one to make it a 1-point game. On the next trip down, he leaks out and creates space again between him and the defender, giving him his second wide open look at a 3, and now he's finally starting to get a rhythm. The Lakers are battled back to take the lead, and it isn't getting any easier for the Bulls. They're now having to trade buckets with Shaq and Kobe both clicking. Meanwhile, Pippen has also started to come alive, making the third quarter a back and forth affair. They fall down by as many as 7, but receive a much needed spark off the bench by Kukoc, who's knocked down nearly all of his open looks. As he gets going, so does the rest of the bench, and they take the baton from the starting lineup to finish the quarter. As in the first half, the Lakers are again beaten in bench points as they experience large gaps of time in between their scoring. This results in a 12-9 advantage in reserve points for the Bulls in the third quarter, but Ron Harper does hit a desperation shot at the buzzer to again equal out the momentum. The Bulls have now won their third straight quarter, and all of them have been by 3 points. Now they gotta finish the job, but there's no doubt that it's still anybody's game, and this epic showdown between two of history's greatest teams is going down to the wire. Just like last quarter, Pippen opens up the fourth with a wide open three, this time in transition as he attempts to get the Bulls momentum to a point they can finally sustain. But the Lakers again have no quit in them as Horry fires right back with a reverse jam in transition. Shaq is again able to score easy in the paint as by this point the Bulls have all but accepted they can't stop him. Then something unexpected happens. Kukoc, who has been amazing off the bench, decides to leave the three-point line as he gets a step on Rick Fox and takes it straight into the teeth of the defense, dunking on 3 Laker defenders including Shaq. Although Chicago only holds a 4-point lead, it could be an official turning point, and the Lakers are starting to run out of time to regain the lead and momentum to keep. On the next Bulls possession, Kerr is again found wide open for 3, and the Lakers haven't found a way to keep the Bulls reserves off the perimeter, which is a huge reason they haven't been successful when their stars go to the bench. Luckily, Fox again comes up clutch as all the attention is being paid to Shaq in the paint. Although Kobe has started to come alive, Fox has clearly been the sidekick to Shaq tonight as he's hit virtually every look he's been given. With only a little under 6 minutes left in the game, the Lakers fail to get a good look, and this seems to be the beginning of the end. In a complete defensive breakdown, Ron Harper is able to go from coast to coast as no one attempts to stop the ball until he's in the paint. Harper slams it with the foul, and the Bulls now go up 6 with only a little time remaining considering the Lakers have no momentum and it's starting to look like it just wasn't meant to be. LA decides to go to the easiest play in the book, putting Shaq in the pick and roll, which they hadn't done much of tonight. Fisher throws a beautiful bounce pass to Shaq, who's able to cash in on the and one, and just like the rest of the game, he's the factor keeping them alive. With only about 4 minutes remaining, they seem to be betting on Shaq to get them back into the game as the Bulls are back to using single coverage since Rick Fox caught fire. Down by only 4 points, Kobe finds Fisher in the corner for 3, and clutch as usual, he knocks it down to make it a 1-point game as the Lakers have also played lockdown D, and Michael Jordan hasn't been heard from much since the first half. Out of all people, after a Bulls miss, Fisher is somehow able to go coast to coast and end up under the basket. He fakes it once and is able to get the push shot to go as the Lakers finally regain the lead for the first time since there was only a minute left in the third quarter. LA has clearly snatched the momentum on both sides as Ron Harper tries to create something in transition. He gets to the rim and is violently rejected by Kobe, who's had a relatively quiet offensive night. Kukoc tries to save the ball and ends up paying for it as the Lakers regain possession. The last 2 minutes of the game are a practical stalemate as both teams have exhausted their advantages and are now in a dead heat trading buckets back and forth. With there only being a 1-point spread, the lead changes every time one of them score, creating the perfect tension for a wild finish. With only about a minute left, the Lakers run a beautiful play for Kobe to cut backdoor off of a Shaq screen. Harper doesn't switch properly and he throws down a wide open jam as the Lakers begin to see the light at the end of the tunnel. Trailing by 2, Jordan figures it's his team and he puts Kobe in the same one-on-one situation he was facing earlier in the first quarter. Shaq does a good job contesting the shot where Kobe couldn't, but this leaves Longley in position for a clutch rebound and score as they get another crucial second chance point. On the other end, Kobe takes it straight to the paint where Shaq still has no obstacles. He scores easily and the Lakers regain the lead with under a minute remaining. Out of the timeout, Rick Fox gets matched up with Jordan as he takes it to the paint in an attempt to tie the game. He gets there but is fouled, putting the Lakers into the penalty, which triggers free throws that will obviously tie the game. Jordan calmly knocks down the first to make it a 1-point game with about 47 seconds remaining. He puts up the second, and in an unheard of event, MJ misses a clutch free throw to tie the game, which puts the Bulls at a serious disadvantage. Luckily, in transition, Kobe rushes a shot figuring he won't get a more open look than the one he's got in this position. For whatever reason, he's just flat out cold, and he misses an easy jumper giving the Bulls a chance to take the lead. Harper slows the ball down to get the Bulls the best shot possible in their set. Everyone thinks it's going to MJ, but in some weird twist of fate, the play is ran for Pippen. He gets an amazing look as Fox is way too far from the play to recover after getting screened, and he goes for the kill as he's behind the 3-point line. The ball touches every single part of the rim before rolling off, but Rodman is able to secure yet another offensive rebound. Although he grabs it, the paint is way too crowded, and as he attempts to pass it out, it's stolen and they're forced to foul as the shot clock is finally turned off. Kobe knocks down 2 clutch free throws, and the Bulls are given just one more chance to stay in the game if they can hit a 3. Longley inbounds it, and for the second straight time, the Bulls get the exact shot they were looking for, an open 3 for MJ to tie the game. Somehow, someway, Jordan missed both of his clutch opportunities with under a minute left, which is absolutely unheard of. Pippen had a great idea to tip slam it to save some time on the clock to play the free throw game, but Shaq's presence under the rim was just enough to bother it and he couldn't get a proper grip. With that play in the books, Derek Fisher, who was an unsung hero with multiple clutch plays down the stretch, calmly knocks down his free throws, and the 2001 Lakers add to their impressive resume by defeating what is considered to be the greatest team of all time. So how did the 72-10 Bulls manage to lose a game that they were in control of nearly the entire time? Well, Shaq. Every time the Lakers needed a bucket, the Diesel was sitting under the rim and the Bulls had no choice but to let it happen because Rick Fox was hot from the three-point line and Kobe would eventually knock down his looks as well. The MVP finished with 34 points, 19 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals, and 4 blocks. This was expected coming into the match considering the Bulls just didn't have the size or strength to compete down low. Rick Fox pitched in 18 points to help with Kobe's early shooting woes, and it was just enough to squeeze them by. Multiple players on the Bulls had amazing nights, but MJ seemingly disappeared after the first quarter onslaught against Kobe. After scoring 19 there, he only got 7 the rest of the way, and he mysteriously went cold where he normally delivered. So although Jordan could technically say he won the battle, Kobe won the war, and at least for the moment, he's got the bragging rights that the best team he played on beat the best team Jordan played on. Either way, it was a match for the ages, and the 01 Lakers could move on to the next challenger. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the like button, comment, and sub, and make sure you leave in the comments which team you would like to see next. Preferably, since the Lakers just won this matchup, you can say you want to see the 01 Lakers versus whatever team you can think of, or you can just come up with 2 random teams and I'll try to put that together because I had a lot of fun with this one. Make sure to hit the bell next to my name if you want notifications on future videos, and also make sure to sub to my second channel where I regularly post 2K content. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one.